Good evening. I will now call the regular Planning Commission meeting of Tuesday, July 16th, 2024 to order, and I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please. Here.
Vice Chair.
Here.
Commissioner Klein. Commissioner Vargas.
Here.
Commissioner Banta. Here. Commissioner Beaumont.
Here.
Chair, we have a quorum.
Great, thank you. Okay, everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and I will ask Commissioner Vargas to please lead us in the salute to our flag. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will now move on with regular business, starting with communications. At this time, I will ask Director Morris if there are any communications or announcements for this evening's meeting.
I do not have any announcements or communications.
All right, moving right along. We'll move on to approval of this evening's agenda. Do I have a motion and then a second to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Okay, got a motion by Commissioner Klein, a second by Commissioner Beaumont. Nancy, can you please do a roll call vote?
Commissioner Klein.
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas.
Yes.
Commissioner Banta. Yes. Commissioner Beaumont.
Yes.
Vice Chair Lightfoot.
Yes.
Chair Rudine.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next item is business from the floor. This portion of the agenda is available for the public to address the Planning Commission on any issue that is not on the agenda. There will be a limit of 3 minutes per speaker. I welcome anyone who wishes to address the Commission regarding a topic or issue that is not on the agenda this evening to please approach the podium. I hope you know. Okay. Moving, did you, I'm sorry, that has you as Mike. 1 second. Yes, Commissioner Klein, did you wish to speak?
No, sorry.
Oh, how weird.
It's weird.
Okay, it went away. All right. All right, lost train of thought. Consent calendar. Now is time for the consent calendar. We have one item on the consent, which is the minutes from the June 18th, 2024 meeting. Does anyone from the Commission or the public wish to pull the consent item for discussion? Nope. All right. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar?
Second.
All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Banta, a second from Commissioner Vargas. Nancy, can we please have a roll call vote?
Commissioner Klein.
Abstain.
Commissioner Vargas.
Yes.
Commissioner Banta. Yes. Commissioner Beaumont.
Yes.
Vice Chair Lightfoot.
Abstain.
Chair Rudine.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Right. Moving right along to public hearing, the Jepson Center drive-through facility. This will be a presentation on the Jepson Center drive-through facility. We'll hear a presentation by staff followed by commissioner questions. Then we will open up for public comment and then bring it back to the commission to deliberate. May we please have the staff's presentation?
Good evening, planning commissioners. I'm Assistant Planner Edward Lincoln. I am here to present the Jepson Center drive-through facility presentation for you tonight. The applicant is requesting a conditional use permit to establish a drive-through facility within an approximately 3,000 square foot tenant space in the Jepson Center retail building located at 611 Leisure Town Road. The application includes a project review for an environmental assessment, as well as a conditional use permit to establish the drive-through facility within an existing 3,000 square foot tenant space by adding a 50 square foot drive-through window to the rear of the building. The drive aisle has also been widened by 20 feet for emergency vehicle access. The general plan recognizes this site as a commercial neighborhood while it is zoned neighborhood commercial. Some background. In November of 2018, the City Council certified the farm at Alamo Creek final environmental impact report and adopted the general plan amendment, specific plan, comprehensive annexation plan, pre-zoning, development agreement, and tentative map for the farm at Alamo Creek specific plan and development project. In April 2020, the Planning Commission approved a conditional use permit and city determination of public convenience or necessity for the Papin Commercial Center located at the northeast corner of Leisuretown Road and Elmira Road. The project consisted of a 14,300 square foot commercial center consisting of a retail building, service station, and a convenience store with a car wash. Here we have, from the northwest corner, 360 view of the queuing area. And as you can see, that area is where the proposed drive-through window will be. It moves along the queuing area, moves along to the backside of the building with the gas station, moving back around. And I just want to give Corey a shout out right now for taking such a great photo. And back to the front of the building. Kind of gives you an idea of how cars will potentially line up and how they'll move out of the existing site. Okay, this view, we have an overhead view where you can see the drive aisle, also the room access for emergency vehicles, also the gas station and the convenience store. This shows an elevation of the proposed pickup window with the drive aisle and the pop out. Here we have a ground level view of the queuing area and a picture of where the proposed pop out window will go. Here we have a queuing layout which shows the 8 required cars available for the layout, and also the additional cars that will be able to queue as well. For public outreach, we issued a new project notice on March 12th and a public hearing notice on the 5th of July. Notable conditions of approval for noise include number 8, which requires a noise analysis if substantial complaints are received. And for circulation, a condition of approval number 13 requires a traffic control plan or modified operations if substantiated circulation issues or complaints result from this drive-through facility. In conclusion, staff supports the project. It meets required findings. It complies with the general plan, zoning, and the development standards as conditioned. The design will complement the surrounding land uses. By simple motion, we recommend the approval of the previous Farm at Alamo Creek environmental assessment and the approval of the conditional use permit for the Jepson Center drive-through facility, subject to conditions of approval. This concludes our presentation, and we are here for any questions or comments you may have.
Great, thank you for the presentation. Do we have any commissioner questions? Commissioner Vargas?
I just had one, the video that was recently taken, right? Because I drive to Sacramento, I take Leisuretown, and it's just congested, and so was that recent? I'm just curious. Drone, by use of drone?
Yeah, as Edward mentioned, Corey Booth and the media team here at the City of Vacaville has drone equipment and different things, and so we collaborate with their team to get out to the site and take pictures. And so, yes, that was recent, I think within the last month of this hearing.
Cool, thank you.
And Commissioner Beaumont?
Thank you. I was on the Planning Commission when we approved this project, but it didn't show the ingress or egress of the project as shown here tonight. Page 39 is the only place I could find that it actually showed the egress of the north exit. And I'm wondering, since Jepson Parkway basically has a center median all the way down, allowing maybe left turn lanes, but never across the whole parkway, why this illustrates that I think I'm right, that this shows that you can go directly across all the way to the Commerce Place, or you can go back the other way. And I'm just questioning why that is for safety reasons.
Okay, we have a slide up with the aforementioned Commerce Place and Union Way with Leisure Town on Elmira Road. So for Jepson Parkway Phase 1, the project, the right-of-way was needed from the Papen property, and there was a right-of-way agreement that granted the Papen property 2 driveways. And the Union Way had to be restricted to a right turn only because of the proximity to Leisure Town and Elmira Road intersection. The Commerce Place was allowed to be a full access due to the economic impact that a right turn only would have on the industrial area immediately to the west.
So going down to Ulatis Way or going to the stoplight at Elmira and coming back around is not a viable option. It's okay to go across, even though you can't do it anywhere else on Leisure Town.
That was an agreement that Public Works came to with the owners and was implemented with previous project approval.
I just think, I understand the process, but I think you're going to have problems with accidents there. And I just think that's a dangerous position to be in, coming across.
Thank you for the observation and the question regarding that intersection. We would also like to know that we do have the city's traffic engineer that can help provide some opinions and information about the history associated with that intersection. But as our assistant planner had mentioned, a lot of that had been done prior to the development of this commercial site. It was mainly related to Jepson Phase 1 and the need to be able to provide a full access at that point. Ulatis, I wouldn't be able to tell you as to the negotiation or the requirements for that particular idea, but back when we were working on the plans, the city was working on the plans for this phase of Jepson, there was a lot of outreach that had to be done with property owners that would be affected about this area, and a lot of the final design of the access points was a result of working with those property owners and trying to address their concerns with getting access, mainly to commerce. If there was any access to be provided for this commercial area, it would have to line up with that full access point for commerce for safety purposes. Again, I just wanted to mention that we do have our traffic engineer if there were any additional questions related to safety and future observation about complaints or issues regarding traffic at that intersection.
So is it the reason that you can't provide a left turn lane going north on Leisure Town into Commerce Place? Is that why we're allowing the full access?
You know, at this point, I think it might be best probably referred to our traffic engineer.
I just don't understand really
As Edward and Albert both said, that during the design of Jepson Phase 1 back in prior to 2013, 2014, that they did a lot of public outreach as part of that process in dealing with the property owners on Commerce and Union, because basically that is the only access they have is to Leisure Town Road. And because of the amount of traffic going out, that there was concern. So when I came to the city of Vacaville in 2016. I'm not sure if it was 2017 when we started to look at the farms and this issue came up. And that's when I did a deeper dive and did some evaluation of this. So the current access is really for the commerce property to have the left in and the left out. Like any other access, if it becomes problematic, the Public Works will evaluate any complaints that we get or if there's high collisions. And if it becomes problematic with the collision rate, then we would look at restricting access.
Okay, I just didn't agree with the process, but I understand it was done earlier than,
And when you deal with these big projects and you're cutting off people's access, there's negotiations that have to happen with regards to, you have to balance what you're trying to accomplish with the good of the community. And so sometimes, while it's not 100% the access that we'd have if we built a new facility and there was nobody out there, we have to take into account our neighbors when we do these improvements.
okay, I appreciate it. And I know there's a lot of collision centers out there, so that'll help with their business.
Sorry. So,
Wait, so 1 second, sorry. Okay, now, Commissioner Lightfoot.
And originally, way back before this was changed, you could take a left onto Union as well, and that was within the last 4 years, 5 years, it was restricted to just no left turn on Union, correct?
Correct. And
Yeah.
so with restricting that access, you're only left to the Commerce Place.
Yeah, so I mean, I understand the impacts to the businesses in the area, that limiting access could be detrimental to their businesses.
Correct. It's a balance.
Yep.
All right, Commissioner Vargas.
Yeah, but so the entry on Commerce, you're coming through onto Union Way. It's like a circle that comes all the way. I know that I take my car to Wrench Works, which is right on Commerce Place. You just come through the back way. It's like a U driveway through, right? Correct? Okay.
Commissioner Klein. Wait 1 second. There you go.
Thank you for that presentation. Very good job, Edward. I do have a question about what was the traffic methodology in the EIR that this project's steering to?
I just turned you on. There you go.
The EIR was done with the farms, which it's been a long time since we've actually looked at that, so I can just talk conceptually as opposed to nitty-gritty. At the time, we looked at level of service, and so we did a traffic impact study. It was significant and unavoidable at specific locations. Other locations, they were required to do improvements. For instance, they're required, the bigger picture, and we're talking about the farms, because this project was part of the farms when it was evaluated. So as the farms, they're required to realign Hawkins and actually put in that traffic signal, the fourth leg of that traffic signal. So there's those types of improvements. I don't know the laundry list of them because it was a long time ago.
Can you maybe talk about, in generalities, what the significant and unavoidable impacts were, if you have any idea?
Oh, so for traffic, I'm not sure if we were able, I don't think we were able to mitigate all of the impacts, and the impacts that we weren't able to mitigate, as I recollect, were significantly off-site because the farms, I believe it was like 785 single-family dwelling units plus the commercial. Basically, the amount of impact, or when I say impact, the amount of traffic, it's widespread. So we were looking at intersections along Nut Tree, and I believe those were the ones that were impacted and significant and unavoidable at the time. I believe with that particular impact, when we did the development impact fee, we were able to include that improvement because it would have been too much to put on this particular project because of the fair share of how much traffic they add.
Yep.
Along the Leisure Town corridor, they didn't create any significant and unavoidable impacts.
Okay.
Because Leisure Town, when Jepson was evaluated, it was evaluated assuming certain land use in that area.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
So it sounds like the traffic and transit analysis was under LOS, and
Correct.
there's been no accounting for delay or for
Vehicle miles traveled?
VMT, right?
No, not at the time.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Do we have any other commissioner questions? Okay, I will move on to receiving public comment.
Matt Ellis. I'm with Filippi Engineering. We are the project applicant on this. And I want to thank staff for working with us on coming together and creating a good project for the community. And I'm here as well as the project architect. If you guys have any questions directed for us, we're here for your questions.
Questions? Thank you. Any further public comment? Okay, I'll close public comment. Let's bring it back to the commission. Do we have any comments or anything before we come up with, or before we have a motion? Oh, Commissioner Beaumont?
Yeah. I'll be happy to make a motion if you're ready.
Okay.
I'm
And
sorry?
I got a second from Commissioner Banta. Actually, I first had a second from Commissioner Klein.
Okay. By simple motion, reaffirm the farm at Alamo Creek FEIR and approve the conditional use permit for the Jepson Center drive-through facility at 611 Leisure Town Road, subject to conditions of approval.
And a second from Commissioner Klein. Nancy, can we please have a roll call vote?
Commissioner Klein,
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas, Commissioner Banta,
Yes.
Commissioner Beaumont,
Clarify, since this is for the drive-through only, yes.
Vice Chair Lightfoot,
Yes.
Chair Rudine,
Yes.
motion passes.
Great. Thank you for the presentation. All right. Moving right along to Director's Report.
Firing that up right now. Thank you, Albert. Okay, hello, Planning Commission. Since the last Planning Commission meeting, the City Council considered a variety of items on June 25th, and they introduced the ordinance for the Land Use and Development Code update that the Commission had recommended approval of. They introduced the ordinance for the digital freeway billboards ordinance that the Commission had recommended approval of, and they also established the battery storage moratorium, which prohibits battery storage uses in Vacaville while we develop comprehensive regulations. And that moratorium is through 2026, May of 2026. We're still canvassing for future items for the commission. We're not busy. We're just in a little bit of a lull for projects that are ready to come here. So we're hoping to bring you Vine Tree Estates. We just got an appeal of a director's decision, so that will be coming your way. And short story involves a tree, so that will be scheduled at some point. And other than that, the future's a little bit murky, but we're going to continue to work on items to bring to the commission this summer and into the fall. Right, they're all going to have a very long agenda, like 10 items in one fateful evening. I don't want that, but we're trying to avoid that, but we'll see. No promises. Meanwhile, the planning division's been busy, albeit not on planning commission staff reports lately, but our building division has been really busy. We show a little bit of less activity compared to last month, but last month was super strong in terms of building permits issued, in particular, single family, has been firing on all cylinders again, so it's been quite exciting. The volumes have been high. And we're bringing in a lot of development impact fees with those projects, which are helpful to the city in building out our infrastructure. Next slide, please. This is the building permit activity showing from July of last year through June of this year. It is kind of amazing how December of 23, things were looking kind of, not grim, but looking really slow. And it's just been steadily climbing into the summer months. And again, we are very busy right now issuing building permits. Going to the next slide, inspection activity tends to trend with the permit issuance activity. We're averaging over 1,000 inspections a month. Thankfully, our one full-time building inspector is going to be joined by the second full-time building inspector on Monday. We've made a hire, so then we'll have 2 full-time people doing the 1,000 inspections a month with a little help from some outside inspectors too. It's been very busy.
How many inspections they do?
We have inspection caps. They're supposed to do like 12 to 14 because that allows them to be thorough, but also keep moving. We have contractors that come in and they will carry that load. We have a retired annuitant who's here 3 days a week, thankfully. Yeah, he's going to leave us soon, but for now we have him. Retired people are hard to keep at a certain point. So this is our building permit activity relative to solar permits, and we are definitely seeing some solar permit activity. And again, it's mostly trending with the single-family home starts and that we're seeing. So we'll go on to the next slide and shift gears to Payman, and then I'll close this out. Payman.
Good evening, Commission. So for current planning monthly report items, in District 1, we approved all-weather architectural aluminum, which is actually pretty good economic development success for Vacaville. This is an existing facility that's in the north part of the city, and they're doing a pretty massive addition and keeping their business in Vacaville. So that was a pretty big win for us. In District 2, North Bay Vaca Valley Plan Sign Program, that's just modifying their plant sign program. Unfortunately, it's not that exciting. We approved the Kairos Public Charter School time extension in District 2 as well. In District 3, a new project for a duplex, and we approved the perimeter wall for Peabody Auto Body. District 4, building permits only. District 5, Oak Grove Apartments time extension was approved, and in District 6, the Vandergate House plans time extension were approved. For advanced planning, you might notice that these topics are really the primary ones we look at. For Allison Priority Development Area and specific plan, that has the formal kickoff in August, and that's where we're going to be discussing the Allison Priority Area and creating a specific plan for it. East of Leisure Growth Area, that's started. Really, contracts have been scheduled for council on August 13th, and the formal project kickoff will follow after that. Housing elements, program implementation, we're continually looking at which programs we can implement. We've done a lot for 2024. There's some remaining for 2024, and then we're looking at some for 2025 as well. Housing development community meetings. So as part of the housing element, we committed to having 4 meetings with development community. We had the first one in January. Second one was a joint effort with Solano County, cities, and the third one's coming up this Friday, actually, and then we'll have a follow-up one in the fall. So we've sent notice out, and we'll be sending more notice out. We had a pretty good turnout last time, actually. So a couple things that we're doing differently with these 2 meetings. We have kicked off our inclusionary housing efforts. So this will give our consultants an opportunity to talk to the development community about specifics of what could work in Vacaville and what they'd be willing to do, what they see trends in inclusionary housing efforts in other cities. So those are it for division updates.
I'll have some brief staffing updates. I shared the really good news that we've hired a building inspector to fill a vacant spot. The council also authorized a senior building inspector to be added to the building team, and that's going to really improve inspection capacity as well as training. So I know you're the planning commission, but believe it or not, some things planned, and then when someone wants, before they start swinging the hammer, they have to go through the building division. So it's very interconnected. On the planning front, we've been interviewing assistant and associate planners, and we have a really strong candidate pool, and so we're excited that we're probably going to get to hire 1 or 2 of them. We're still looking for a senior planner for long-range planning, and I'm on the cusp of pushing out an assistant director recruitment, hoping that third time is a charm for me, and I will have an assistant director that will stay here, hopefully for more than 4 months. That'd be the goal. So I would say things are looking up, or they're at least looking like they probably will look up. I want to turn this next item over to Nancy, and then I'll close with the Planning Commission vacancy.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. I wanted to announce that tonight is my last regularly scheduled Planning Commission meeting as your city attorney. We're having some departmental assignment reshuffling, and so moving forward next month, my esteemed colleague Annie Branham will be taking my spot. You guys are in more than competent hands with her, and so hopefully this won't be the last time we see each other, but I just wanted to let you all know that, tonight's my last official evening.
And then, as we are all very aware, we do have a planning commission vacancy right now. It may be filled at the next council meeting, so stay tuned. That's a possible agenda item. As soon as I know, I will send out an announcement to the commission, just so that if you are not watching all the council meetings, you'll be aware. But we are expecting an appointment to fill the vacant spot. Those are my announcements. I think that's everything today. I just want to make sure. Yes, okay. If you have any questions or comments, we're happy to take them.
Commissioner Klein.
I do have a question for Ms. Branham, or about where does she come from? Do you have anything about her background?
We know each other a bit. I came from BB.
Welcome.
Thank you, Nancy, as well. Yeah, appreciate you.
Okay, then with that, moving on to commissioner comments. Now is time for commissioner comments. This portion of the agenda is for commissioners to inform each other of items of potential interest to other commissioners, such as interagency meetings or offer announcements as appropriate. I'll start with Commissioner Klein. Work our way down. Let me get your microphone. There we go.
Thank you. Just briefly, it's been a tragic couple of days for Vacaville. I know that we've been impacted from police and fire from just tragic losses, and I just want to say that my heart goes out to the families and all of the employees at the city who worked with those two wonderful individuals. And I would just suggest, maybe closing in their honor tonight, just to send our respects to their families.
Commissioner Vargas.
I echo the same, both police and fire, tragic losses. I knew Vince Nadazdi when I was a CPS social worker working here in Vacaville Police Department. And when he passed, I was gut-wrenching. He was just the nicest guy. And then to see that his son passed was just gut-wrenching. And so my heart goes out to them. Condolences to the families.
Vice Chair Lightfoot.
Yeah, no, I second the sentiments. I'm Vacaville's in mourning, and
Commissioner Banta. Commissioner Beaumont.
I just offer prayers to all our first responders and their families because they really need them.
And I too agree with my colleagues, and as a wife and a mother, my heart goes out to both Officer Bowen and Fire Department Code Enforcement Technician Bryden Nadazdi. And I will be closing tonight's meeting in memory of them. Good night.